John is going to the cinema tonight. On his way to the film, he spots an Indian place and orders a takeaway curry that he wants to take into the cinema. According to economic theory, if John has bought the curry, this is because the utility or satisfaction that he gets from consuming the curry is higher than the price he bought it at. The same theory states that the Indian restaurant sold the curry because the cost of production was lower than the sale price. This leads to this beautiful supply and demand equilibrium, and consumer and producer surplus in the market is maximized. John then gets into the cinema. The film today is one of Rodrinomics' favorite films, Out of Africa, starring Meryl Streep and Redford. As he sits down, John starts attracting the attention of his fellow spectators. One of them, Daniel, whispers to his boyfriend, "Yuck, that smells so badly." Another one, Angie, goes as far as leaving the room to ask the management to stop John from eating his very smelly curry. However, the management says that they have no policy enacted against eating inside the cinema room. What is going on? The same economic theory that explains the equilibrium between supply and demand explains that through the price mechanism, millions of different markets with their respective equilibria maximize the welfare of society as a whole. But in the cinema, the consumption of one person is impacting not only his own utility, but also the utility of others who now enjoy the film a lot less. This notion that an equilibrium between supply and demand does not always lead to a maximization of the welfare for society as a whole, because either the consumer, such in this case John, or the producer, which in this case is the Indian restaurant, ignore the cost that other actors that are affected by this consumption of the goods suffer, is referred to as a market failure. Market failure because the equilibrium between supply and demand is not maximizing the welfare of society as measured by the addition of consumer and producer surplus. What can be done? In this case, the government could intervene to lower the amount of curry that people eat in cinemas, bearing into account not just the utility from eating it that consumers get and the profits from cooking it that producers get, but also the external costs onto third parties that this consumption generates. Market failures go both ways. Sometimes society needs to encourage the consumption or production of a good that generates external benefits, and sometimes we need to discourage this consumption or production that generates external costs. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like or comment.